Now to Rivers State. Governor Siminalayi Fubara has been in sunny while discussing political developments in the state on the BCOS TV Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120. Our reporter, Olamide Owolabi, who monitored the program, reports.
The recent move by the Rivers State House of Assembly to impeach Governor Siminalayi Fubara has continued to heighten tension within the Assembly and among members of the All Progressive Congress, APC, in the state. Speaking on the program, public affairs analyst Tunde Laninyo described the crisis as both human and political in nature, noting that politics remain at the core of the unfolding events. He explained that Governor Fubara must come to terms with the political realities on ground, understand the art of negotiation, and engage strategically with key political stakeholders in the state. According to him, failure to carefully weigh the pros and cons of the situation could lead to repeated missteps, stating that former governor of Rivers State and current minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, has remained a dominant political force in the state for over 16 years.
Nothing has suddenly changed. It's been a problem that started almost immediately.
Immediately after the peace talks?
From the beginning, when Fubara was elected, Fubara thought he could make his own way, which is fine. But like I said, even a military commander on the field of operation will measure in his strategy what are the things available to him. That is what will cause him to take the steps that he would take, to take the kind of route that he would take. That's what I expect of Fubara. Like I said, Wike has done his own bit, but Wike remains, for now, the strong man. I've not just said leader, strong man of Rivers politics. And for what you said earlier, for PDP and for APC, is the one in charge of them in Rivers State.
Also speaking on the program, the group practitioner Sharafra Soni described the crisis as largely self-inflicted, arguing that Governor Fubara appears to believe he can operate independently of his political benefactor who played a significant role in his emergence as governor. He further noted that the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, is also approaching a critical political phase, considering his leadership style, relationship with the president, and continued influence in the political affairs of Rivers State.
Presently, Fubara will not enjoy peace. If that was the same situation he found himself in the time past, he should have, one way or the other, if he's a student of history, he will learn from the past and correct the present. You are the governor of a state. A governor of a state. I would categorically tell you now, Fubara is politically stubborn. And that stubbornness is using on the wrong side to harm himself. You are the governor of the state. Most of these people, they have loyalty to what comes, what they can eat. How you can take care of them. No. You see, when the last speaker said nurturing, just like what you said, he is correct, but we are negatively nurturing these youths to learn the trick. We are negatively. They are, not we. They are negatively nurturing the youth to take the wrong side of politics, not a service delivery for the development of that state. Rivers State happens to be one of the richest states in Nigeria.
Which is why there's so much focus on them.
IGR, what is turning out of Rivers is beautiful. Take it. Now that is why you have so many attentions on Rivers.
Both analysts observed that several political leaders in the past had faced similar governance challenges but successfully navigated them through dialogue and strategic engagement. They advised Governor Fubara to embrace dialogue and inclusive political consultations as a way of resolving the ongoing crisis and stabilizing governance in the state. Olamide Owolabi, BCOS News.
As Nigeria steps into the year 2026, stakeholders are calling for renewed focus on the agricultural sector as a critical driver of sustainable economic growth, food security, and national development. Our reporter, Olamide Owolabi, in this report, spoke with stakeholders on the direction government should take to maximize potential in the agriculture sector in the year 2026.
Agriculture continues to occupy a central place in national discourse, given its vital role in sustaining livelihoods, especially in rural communities. Beyond food production, the sector provides raw materials for industries and serves as a major tool for tackling poverty and unemployment. However, despite its enormous potential, the agricultural sector has continued to grapple with persistent challenges, including insecurity, the effects of climate change, limited access to finance, and poor infrastructure. These factors have slowed productivity and discouraged youth participation in farming and agribusiness. With the onset of 2026, stakeholders are examining these challenges in a bid to cut a more sustainable pathway toward economic growth and national development. Speaking with BCOS News, an agricultural expert, Dr. Idubadewumi, alongside the chairman Cocoa Farmers Associations in Oyo State, Alhaji Soliu Imam, acknowledged the gains recorded in the sector in 2025 despite prevailing challenges.
If you look at the policy of the government, in the course of the last year, there is a drop in the prices of food in the market. And that is due to some of the government policies that was put in place in previous year. I mean, 2023, 2024.
2025 was a mixture of course, that is natural in life, of the good and the bad. Towards the tail end of 2025, we had a slowdown. I mean, a sort of glut, not a glut like that, but the prices of crops dropped. Of course, for a farmer who has spent so much, because the major issue we've always faced with the current economic situation in the country is input, the cost of input. So now you expect that to get some amount for your efforts, but this thing dropped drastically in 2025. Of course, a consumer will be happy, but farmers are never happy.
They stressed that for agriculture to record significant progress in 2026, government must implement more flexible and farmer-friendly policies, take a proactive role in production, ensure agricultural produce gets to consumers at affordable prices, and intensify efforts to address insecurity across farming communities.
Government should release more funds for research institute for farmers to back them up. If you look at the policy, even in terms of tax, you will see that anything that has to do with food items or whatever, they exempt tax from it. So the policy is still encouraging. They are still encouraging farmers to go back to farms and make sure that we secure our own food, and we even start exporting some to end foreign exchange.
2026, the security situation is still there. Government should have a program whereby they take, especially the staple food like you have as in maize and cassava, take this thing off farmers and sell to the public at properly reduced price, and that's the only way you can affect everybody.
Analysts agree that placing agriculture at the forefront of national policy and public discourse remains essential to achieving sustainable development and economic stability in the year ahead. Olamide Owolabi, BCOS News.
You're watching news around the world on BCOS television. We pause now for a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Now, festive period with this, my mom, Papa Demola, did do shopping for the end of the year. Now, so both of them receive call say, "Big don't share it." Hospital bills no dey wait at all, even for this season where we suppose dey jollificate.
I don't understand again. They still want 20,000. How won't take make this Christmas period sit for these children like this with this price?
Now the way with this,
Oshia.
You na get Oshia. You no fit hospital gbese alone. No. Make una get yourself and your family member them. Save this period with Oshia. Make una get yourself and your family member them. Save this period with Oshia. Oshia day. Your own day.
Win your share of 3 billion naira. Become one of 10 millionaires weekly. Or win a chance to see Real Madrid live. 3 SUVs to be won. Buy any Nivea 400 ml promo product, scratch and dial to enter.
Welcome back to News Around the World. The Oyo State Deputy Governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, has described the ongoing Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, RAHAM, across the state as a critical economic development initiative capable of enhancing agricultural production and improving the distribution of farm produce within Oyo State and beyond. Barrister Lawal made this assertion during an inspection tour of selected RAHAM projects across some local government areas of the state. Details are presented by Governor's Office correspondent Olalekan Sulaiman.
The Oyo State Deputy Governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, on Thursday, led an inspection tour of ongoing projects being executed under the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, RAMP, across selected parts of the state. He was accompanied on the tour by the Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, Barrister Olasukami Olaleye. The inspection exercise commenced in Ido local government area with the assessment of the 37 kilometers Alako, Idiya, Batake, Olowa, which links the Ijayi farm settlement in Akeyele local government of the state. The team later moved to Oluyole local government area, where it inspected the ongoing 8.68 kilometer Adebayo Alata, Obembe, Abaoje road project. The deputy governor and his entourage were received by the chairman of Oluyole local government, Engineer Akim Olatunji, alongside residents of the area. The tour was concluded in Onara local government area with the inspection of Agro-Logistics Central Market, Ojagbe, located at Area Lassa. Barrister Lawal was received by the chairman of the local government, Dr. Kolapo Temitope, and enthusiastic members of the host community. The Ojagbe project on the ramp is aimed at rehabilitating the market to standard with provision for lock-up shops, open stores, toilet facilities, industrial boreholes, and other essential infrastructure. Speaking with journalists after the inspection, Barrister Lawal expressed satisfaction with the level of work carried out by the contractors, noting that the project, upon completion, will significantly improve rural infrastructure and boost agricultural marketing across the state.
We have so many projects for inspection that links so many settlements, which will enhance movement of farm produce from farm locations to city center. Then that particular route also has gone to about 65% completion. In the next 2 months, they promised that it will be delivered for commissioning. Then we proceeded to this place, Ojagbe at Onara. As you have seen, this particular project is key, to development of market facilities in Onara local government. We haven't had this type of market project in this particular local government. The project is about 55% completion. The consultant promised that it will be delivered by March.
The ramp project are being executed in partnership with the Oyo State government, the federal government, the World Bank, and the French government. Olalekan Sulaiman, BCOS News.
The newly appointed secretary to the Oyo State government, Professor Musibawa Batunde, has disclosed that the present administration in the state would continue to work to foster sustainable development for Oyo State. He stated this when he paid a courtesy visit to the State Ministry of Information Secretariat, Ibadan. Professor Batunde hinted that his appointment is a call to service, noting that it would be more dedicated for effective and efficient coordination of government activities that would move the state forward. The secretary to the state government pointed out that the budget performance of Oyo State is much higher than what was obtained in the past. The SSG, who said he introduced much more initiative to the economic planning management structure, noted that Oyo State is being ranked consistently above its peers, especially around peaceful governance and financial management. Responding, the State Commissioner for Information, Prince Dotun Oyelade, in his remarks, said Professor Babatunde, the newly appointed Secretary to the Oyo State government, has a good mutual relationship with the people working around him, hinting that he is a round peg in a round hole. The Oyo State Police Command has announced the commencement of a statewide enforcement operation against unmarked vehicles, fake or defaced number plates, and motorcyclists who conceal their identities while riding as part of renewed efforts to curb crime and enhance public safety across the state. The announcement was contained in a statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Alayo Deolayinka, on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Oyo State Police Command. The Commissioner of Police, CP Femi Haruna, approved the operation, which is scheduled to take effect from Monday, January 11, 2026. The enforcement will target vehicles without valid registration numbers, whose bearing covered, blinded, defaced, fake, or unauthorized number plates, including dealer and unauthorized NANS plates, as well as motorcycles with unlawfully covered plates. Motorcyclists who wear hoods or masks capable of concealing their identities while riding will also be affected. According to the command, anyone found violating the directives will be arrested, while the affected vehicles or motorcycles will be impounded. The police said the decision followed credible intelligence and operational assessments indicating that criminals increasingly exploit unmarked vehicles, fake or obscured number plates, and disguised motorcyclists to evade detection and carry out criminal activities within communities. Away from that, activities commemorating this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Week has commenced today with the Oyo State Deputy Governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, leading members of the Oyo State Executive Council and the Armed Forces community to observe a special Jumu'ah service. Staff reporter Adebayo Abdurrafi was at the Ojaba Central Mosque, Ibadan, to bring the details.
Every 15th of January is set aside to honor the memories of fallen Nigerian security operatives, especially members of the armed forces who paid the supreme price in defense of the nation. As part of activities marking this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day, members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, led by the representatives of the General Officer Commanding 2 Division of the Nigerian Army, alongside members of the Oyo State Executive Council, led by the Deputy Governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, converged on the Ojaba Central Mosque, Ibadan, for a special Jumat prayer, marking the commencement of the week-long commemoration. Speaking with newsmen at the special Jumat prayer, the State Deputy Governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, said every citizen and resident of Nigeria must appreciate the members of the security community for opting to offer themselves to guarantee the peace of the nation. He stressed that nothing is too much to be deployed in recognition of the services being rendered selflessly, adding that those who paid supreme price deserve more honor.
A day to remember those of our people who fell during various wars, First World War, Second World War, Civil War, and those who are even sleeping as a result of security challenges that we have in the country today. So it's a unique day of remembrance and to supplicate to Almighty Allah to grant them peaceful rest so that this remembrance would tell us that there were those who died so that we can live in peace.
Speaking on behalf of the Armed Forces community, the representative of the General Officer Commanding 2 Division of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Gambo Azan, said the occasion is a mark of respect for the dead and appreciation of the living heroes.
It's a day created for us to look back, in retrospect, see what they have done to keep us one today, and just to ensure that whatever they have done for us is not forgotten in a hurry. So it's just a day to commemorate this day, give them their respect, and mark it by a way of celebration, which we actually do the Muslim side where we come to the mosque, and the Christians will have their service on Sunday.
The Chief Imam of Ibadan Land, Sheikh Abdulgani Agbotomakekere, led the congregation in prayers and offered supplications for the repose of the souls of fallen heroes, as well as divine protection and guidance for serving personnel across the country. In his sermon, the revered cleric emphasized the critical role of the armed forces in safeguarding Nigeria's unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. He described their sacrifices as indispensable to the peace and stability enjoyed in the nation, urging citizens to continually support security agencies through prayers and cooperation. Sheikh Agbotomakekere also called on government at all levels to sustain its commitment to the welfare of serving officers and the families of fallen heroes, stressing that adequate care and moral support remain vital to national security. The Jumat prayer marked the official kickoff of activities lined up for the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration in Oyo State, with other events expected to climax in the ceremonial laying of wreaths on January 15th. Adebayo Abdurafi, BCOS News.
Activities marking the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration will continue on Sunday, January 11, 2026, with a special church service scheduled to hold at the Cathedral of St. Peter's, Arimo, Ibadan, by 10 a.m. This was disclosed in a release issued by the Office of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Inclusion, and signed by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Mrs. Mofoluwake Ibitoye. The program will continue on Tuesday, January 13, 2026, with a candlelight procession at the Military Cemetery, Jericho, Ibadan, scheduled for 5 p.m. Also slated for the week is the launching of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem, which will take place on Wednesday, January 14, 2026, at the Executive Chamber by 10 a.m. The build-up to the grand finale will include a full rehearsal on Thursday, January 15, 2026, at the Lake Salami Sports Complex, Adamasingba, Ibadan, beginning at 9 a.m. This will be followed by a cocktail party at the same venue. Cocoyam, a local tuber often overlooked on Nigerian dining tables, is also drawing attention for its impressive nutritional value. Health experts say the crop contains high-quality protein, reported to be higher than that found in beans, alongside essential vitamins and minerals that support healthy living. Our reporter, Gumisola Adebayo, takes a closer look at the nutritional benefits of cocoyam and its availability in Nigerian markets.
Cocoyam is a staple food commonly eaten boiled, powdered, or used as thickener in soups. It is ranked third in importance after cassava and yam among root crops cultivated and consumed in Nigeria. Nutrition experts describe cocoyam as nutritionally superior to cassava and yam, owing to its rich dietary fiber and starch content, which aids digestion and helps prevent constipation. Speaking on the benefits of the tuber, a dietitian from the University College Hospital, Ibadan, Dr. Abdulsalam Olayinka, explained that cocoyam is highly nutritious and suitable for people of all ages, including children from 6 months.
Is more enriched with fiber that will control the sugar content in the blood. Also, it has appreciable amount of protein, which also can help, boosting the, amino acids in our body system. Not only that, it will surprise most of us that it has a better protein than even beans, because it has lysine and leucine, which is actually not present in beans and rice. So that is why we say combine beans and rice together so that you have opportunity of completing your protein. But I'm not saying that we should look at it as a source of protein alone, but it also can be considered as one of those food that we should plan to eat, especially when it is in season.
According to him, cocoyam contains essential vitamins such as vitamin B6 and vitamin C, as well as minerals including potassium, magnesium, and iron.
When once eat it, you might not even need to, have issue with, your mineral balance. That is the micronutrients. But one thing about cocoyam that I must also mention, talking about all the beautiful benefits, we can also say that there are some things like saponins, oxalates, that if cocoyam is not well cooked, might be present in the food that will now distort the absorption of other nutrients.
Despite its nutritional value, cocoyam experienced a decline in production in past years due to reduced harvest, making it scarce and expensive in many markets. However, recent improvements in cultivation have led to increased availability, with cocoyam gradually regaining popularity in Nigerian markets. A visit by the BCOS news crew to OJ Market in Ibadan revealed that sellers are still recording low patronage, though they remain hopeful that increased awareness of its health benefits will boost demand.
Cocoa wọn jù sùn lọ. Torí pé cocoa wọn jù sùn lọ, ni wọ́n fi rà sí. Àgbà àwọn alákọ̀wé máa ń jẹ dáadáa. Àwọn ọmọ gbé lọ travel. Àwọn alákọ̀wé tí wọ́n mọṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe lára.
Láti kẹta àti kékeré láti mọ̀ ń jẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn míì rẹ̀ àwọn tó wá rí àkókò rẹ̀ ò iná kíní náà ọmọ fi ń gúnyán iyán rẹ̀ mọ́ ń da kíní kẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ́ ń ṣe kíní kẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ́ ń ṣe. Báwọn míì mọ̀ pé ọmọ bọ́tà ní kálukú wa lè sí yìí bó nísìmọ́ kókó mọ́ dàbí alára.
Dr. Olayinka, however, advised Nigerians to ensure cocoyam is properly cooked and consumed in moderation, noting that excessive intake of any food can have adverse effects. Bimsola Adebayo, BCOS News.
Over now to the sports segment of the news. Please don't go away.
Good evening and welcome to the sports segment of the evening news. My name is Toby Ajewale. The Nigeria Women's Football League has fined Ibom Angels 2.5 million naira and ordered their next 3 home matches to be played behind closed doors following crowd violence and assault on Bayelsa Queens players and officials. The incident occurred at the end of Wednesday's match at the Uyo Township Stadium, where Ibom Angel supporters invaded the pitch and attacked opposing players and officials. The breakdown of the sanctions include 1.5 million naira for assault, intimidation, and offensive conduct, 1 million naira for bringing the game into disrepute, and failure to ensure matchday security. The 3 affected home fixtures are against Ekiti Queens, Edo Queens, and Nigeria Tels. The Nigeria Women's Football League warned that any breach of the sanctions or reoccurrence of similar behavior will attract more severe punishment. And in the African Cup of Nations, Super Eagles head coach Eric Schell has urged his players to remain completely focused on Saturday's quarter-final showdown against Algeria in Marrakesh. Nigeria booked their place in the last 8 with victory over Mozambique, while Algeria advanced courtesy of a narrow 1-0 win against DR Congo.
This is a big competition, so your state of mind and your mindset is very, very important, because you have to manage the pressure, you have to manage the opponent, and what your coach asks you. So We try to work on every day and every training session. This is why every time I talk about the training session. So once again, we have the last training session today.
Kickoff time is Saturday by 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Meanwhile, Algeria captain Riyad Mahrez expects a more open context than their last outing, saying the team expects the next match to be more open, which will give them more space to showcase their abilities as they remain fully prepared. And in transfer news, Manchester City have completed the signing of Ghana winger Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth on a deal worth approximately £65 million, a record sale for the Cherries. City activated Semenyo's release clause with the fee structured at £62.5 million paid over 24 months installment plus add-ons. The 26-year-old has signed a contract until 2031 and will wear the famous number 42 shirt previously worn by club legend Yaya Toure. Semenyo signed off from Bournemouth with a dramatic stoppage time winner in their 3-2 victory over Tottenham on Wednesday. And finally, sport news tonight from tennis. Women's world number 1, Aryna Sabalenka, continued her dominant start to 2026 with straight set victory 6-3, 6-3 over Australian Open champion Madison Keys in the quarterfinals of the Brisbane International. The result avenges last year's Australian Open final defeat to Keys and keeps Sabalenka on course for a potential third title in 4 years at Melbourne Park later this month. Sabalenka now meets Karolina Mukova in the semi-finals after the Czech player ended Elena Rybakina's 13-match winning streak. And that will be all, and it's back to news around the world. My name is Toby Ajowole.
Site in the central Philippines on Thursday, killing 1 person, injuring 7, and leaving more than 30 people missing, authorities said. Foreign Desk Editor Folashade Akintola has details of the story and others, now presented by Bimbo Akambi.
Rescuers retrieved 8 people alive and were searching for the missing, still trapped, after a huge mound of rubbish and debris collapsed on them in Binaliu, Cebu City in the Philippines, police said on Friday. Those affected included workers at the landfill, but it was unclear if non-workers were among the victims. One of those rescued, a female landfill worker, died while being brought to a hospital. Regional Police Director Roderick Malanan told the press, adding that the rest survived with injuries. Search and rescue efforts were continuing for the 27 missing. Federal agents in the United States have shot and injured 2 people in the city of Portland, Oregon, a city where the administration of President Donald Trump has led an immigration enforcement crackdown. The shooting was the second time in less than a day that federal immigration authorities claimed to have fired upon a vehicle in self-defense following a deadly shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota. On Thursday, the Portland Police Department announced they had responded to reports of gunfire on Southeast Main Street at about 2:18 p.m. local time.
Radicals in the Democrat Party are furious over this. They don't want our border secured or criminal illegal aliens being removed.
The group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques to try to make it impossible for the President of the United States to do.
We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis.
People in positions of power have already passed judgment, from the president to the vice president, to Kristi Noem, have stood and told you things that are verifiably false.
Russia has used the Oreshnik ballistic missile as part of a massive overnight strike on Ukraine. 4 people were killed and 25 others injured in Kiev on Thursday night, where loud booms could be heard for several hours, setting the sky alight with explosions. It is only the second time that Moscow has used the Oreshnik, which was first deployed to hit the central city of Dnipro in November 2024. Russia's defense ministry said the strike was a response to a Ukrainian drone attack targeting Vladimir Putin's residence in late December, which Kiev denies carrying out. While the ministry did not specify what had been the Oreshnik's target, shortly before midnight, videos began circulating on social media showing numerous explosions on the outskirts of the western city of Lviv. President Volodymyr Zelensky and Ukrainian authorities confirmed that a ballistic missile had struck infrastructure in Lviv, about 60 kilometers, that is about 40 miles, from the Polish border. Bimbo Akambi, BCOS News.
To end the news around the world, here again are the top stories. In a bold move aimed at easing the financial burden on Nigerian parents and strengthening learning outcomes, the federal government has unveiled a far-reaching policy to introduce reusable high-quality textbooks across the nation's schools. The Oyo State Deputy Governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, has described the ongoing Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, RAHAMP, across the state as a critical economic development initiative capable of enhancing agricultural production and improving the distribution of farm produce within Oyo State and beyond. We also told you that a mountain of solid waste collapsed at a landfill site in the central Philippines on Thursday, killing 1 person, injuring 7, and leaving more than 30 people missing, authorities said. The BCOS website is live. Kindly visit it at www.bcostv.com. You can also watch us on GoTV, channel 134, and on StarTimes, channel 113. Now, before I go, late night outing is conducive to criminality. Do not keep late nights. That's news around the world from me and the team here. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening. University of Ibadan Christian Family Fellowship joyfully invites the general public to its campus Holy Ghost rally. Come and meet Jesus through his servant, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, in the program tagged A New Beginning. Dates, Tuesday, the 13th of January 2026, time 4 p.m. and Wednesday, 14th January 2026, time 6 a.m. Venue, Old Sports Complex behind Main Library University of, Venue, Old Sports Complex behind Main Library University of Ibadan. The program features healing, deliverance, breakthrough, salvation, and lots more. With the theme, We Would See Jesus, John 12:21. Good news awaits you. Jesus is Lord. Announcer, University of Ibadan Christian Family Fellowship.
Mommy, relax.
Banking that's fast and reliable. A debit card that works. Enjoy unlimited free transfers.
Tell me the truth.